Today's guest is author and Emmy Award-winning TV news reporter and anchor for NBC in New York, Jen Maxfield. Girl, you wrote a book.
Debra, thank you so much for having me on. And yes, I know sometimes when I see it, I still can't believe it myself.
I have it right there. It's right behind me, and I just brought it with me on vacation. It was the one book that I wanted to read. How did you decide?
That means so much to me. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I mean, I do have a whole bunch of them too. So just to make you really feel good. What made you decide to write it?
I had been wanting to write a book for a while, and really what fueled me to write this book more after the break is genuine curiosity. My own curiosity about what happened to the people I covered on the news. Look, Debra, when we cover people, we interview them, we rush to make our deadlines, the clock is always ticking, right? And we never feel like we get to spend enough time with people, especially those really impactful, emotional stories where we're starting it in the morning, it's airing on the news at night, live truck pulls away, and that's it. And so the 10 people who I feature in my book are people who I felt like their stories deserved more. And for one reason or another, I had continued thinking about them through all these years, even decades, after I first reported those stories on the news.
I mean, you must have interviewed thousands and thousands and thousands.
I estimate I've interviewed more than 10,000 people because I've been reporting for 22 years. And yeah, I mean, some of it is, hey, what do you think about that new red light camera on the corner near your house? And that's important too. But then the people featured in this book are the ones, and I know you have people like this in your head too, Debra, where you've interviewed them over the years, and even though it may be quite some time since you've last seen them, something about them you keep thinking about.
There are so many people who live rent-free in my head for years and years. And you do show up on people's worst days and best days.
We're not doctors, right? We can't heal them. We're not police. We can't make an arrest, but we are with them and we are helping them tell their story to the broader community. And I would also say that when I approach the people who I write about in my book, I wasn't necessarily expecting to be welcomed with open arms. In fact, I wondered if I owed some of the people an apology. And I wondered sometimes if they regretted being on the news and sharing their story publicly. But it was incredibly refreshing and reassuring to know that even though some of the conversations I had with people were certainly complicated, having the benefit of context and hindsight now, all these years later, so much has happened in their lives. And a lot of it is because their story received attention. And then they got that support reflected back to them from the community.